Welcome back. Welcome to a new video. In this video, we're going to take the JZX drifting, and you'll see me prepare it for the drift day, take it along to the drift day, and actually drift it. So you'll see in the last video, I got my first taste of sort of how to drift and what to do. Now it's time to do it in something that I own, which is reasonably high risk, and it could go badly, but I don't think it will. I'm going to take things slowly, and I've, had the car moving about a bit, driving it normally, so kind of know how it feels, but it's the first time doing it for real. Welcome back. I'm actually doing some work today. I have got slightly carried away and disassembled most of the front end of the JZX. Last time you saw it, I was finishing it. It's not very finished right now. I've got these new wings to put on. So these are fiberglass, supposed to be plus 25mm, but I've worked out they aren't a whole lot larger than the originals. Now the originals obviously had this issue. You probably have spotted that. It's quite a lot of filler, to be honest. But they are pulled already. So they have, I think, probably at least 20mm of pull on them. So I haven't gained a whole lot with the fiberglass arches, which has led me down a rabbit hole of trying to set up the alignment on the car. Now, I've got larger control arms, wider control arms, going to get a light to show you. So, we've got longer control arms, we've got adjustable tension rods, I think you call them tension rods, caster arms, and obviously adjustable upper arms. So we can change the track width of this car. So the standard lower adjustment is camber normally, and you wouldn't normally have the top arm. But because you've got both, you can sort of suck the wheel in and out from the chassis and adjust the track length. So what I'm trying to do right now is make the track length as short as possible, the front track as short as possible, so that I get more clearance for the arches. Now I am having a bit of an issue that I'm running out of toe adjustment, depending on where that lower arm is. So I'm trying to get as much camber as possible, as short a track as possible, while still having that toe adjustment. Now I think I'm pretty much there actually. This setup isn't fantastically accurate, but it does work to give you an approximate sort of idea. Now, I have had this car aligned, so I know that steering wheel straight ahead should be equal toe on both sides. So by using this, I can square up the front and back of the wheel so I can tell whether it's toeing in or toeing out. Now at the moment I've got about 1mm of toe in. That's because number one, these aren't terribly accurate. There is a bit of float in the tape measures. So for me, I think if you're going any more than a millimetre of accuracy, you're chasing your tail. So I'm considering 1mm of toe in to be about right, to be honest. It's somewhere like parallel. I think half a mil isn't really going to make any difference. So that should at least drive straight. The sense check is looking down the side of the car, and it does look about parallel. What I can do also is set up a box around the car, equidistant from sort of hub nuts, and just get an idea of whether it's toeing in, toeing out. It'll also tell me if, because at the moment obviously I'm only measuring total toe across the car. It will tell me then if I've got like a bit of a parallelogram going on. There's lots of stuff that I've got to check. So basically what I'm trying to do is fit some front arches. But in trying to fit those front arches, I've got to change the whole geometry of the front of the car. Sometimes you wish you never started. I'm not really gaining any clearance. I could have done this with the standard arches, to be quite honest. But we're here now, so we're going to carry on. I'm going to crack on, get this finished. What I'd like to do today is have the arches done, all the front end built back up, side skirts back on, and I need to pull a little bit of toe out of the rear because I'm actually going to do a drift day in this car. So, slightly high risk activity for a complete novice, but you just got to get on with it, haven't you? If you don't start, you'll never get to the end. So What I'm going to try and do is take a little bit of, what the word is for it, the radius of this needs to be decreased. So there is an inside lip which you can't quite see. I think I can roll that a bit more, get a bit more clearance, because the two wheel sets that I'll be using for the drift day are 10mm different in terms of offset. So I've got an ET12 set, which is what I have here. And then I've got an ET22 set. So I've got about 10mm difference between the two. Both fit currently, but I think if I get into, you know, sporty maneuvers, I might need a bit more clearance on the 12s. I've said a lot of words. I'm going to crack on and do a bit of work. I'll show you some of the equipment I've been using. Again, this isn't really professional grade, but it does give you a good idea of what's going on. So obviously this setup is just a flat board, sits on the wheel rim. So you take your reference from the wheel rim. You run a tape measure from one side across to the other. Obviously another board. And then you just measure it. So here we are, 191.5-ish. 191, you can't quite see, 0.5-ish. So it's about parallel. As always, what I'm doing isn't really professional advice, but it does give you an idea if you don't have access to proper alignment equipment, or if you don't have loads of tools, whatever, you can roughly approximate it. Obviously this will work if you've just got a couple of flat boards and you've got a helper. Like, you know, if you're just dropping a car off the ramp, having replaced all the front suspension, and you need to drive it to an alignment shop, this works fine. You know, it saves you scrubbing a set of tyres. But yep, I'm going to crack on. I am absolutely covered in fiberglass dust, which means I must have cut some fiberglass, and I have. This wing is now fully fitted up to the car. Everything's wired in, everything's fitted nicely. The bonnet's up obviously, but the shuts are okay. Like, it's not bad really. I wasn't expecting a huge amount from this fiberglass wing, but it's nice. Wheels fit. One side's a success. I didn't film that process because I really didn't know what was going to be needed to get it to fit. But like I say, it's pretty decent. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side now. I had to make a little weld repair down here to one of the brackets and a few other things. I had to drill a bolt out. So that side was the hardest side. This side should be a lot easier now. So let's get that fitted up, and then there's just a few things to do on the car really. I've done the alignment. I would like to take a little bit of toe out the rear. It's not a killer if I can't do it, but it'd be nice to do that. Whether I can do it balanced or not, I'm not sure, but let's try. Check the fluids. Drive it, I guess, yeah. Really not a lot left to do now, so getting pretty excited, and then we'll go to the drift day. You join me on a new day in the unit. It's now Sunday, yesterday was Saturday. And I've slept on the alignment on this car and sort of just pondered it over. Sometimes best just to pause and think about it if you're having some issues. Now, here's what I found out. This side, trackwood end, needs to be shorter than this side. There's something going on in this corner. Don't know what, because this has also needed slightly more lower arm camber to match the other side. So that's something I've been chasing for a while. I've taken it to various alignment shops and they haven't really been able to sort it. Now that's sorted. So this side's 5 degrees. This side's also 5 degrees. Everything lines up as it should with the arch. Everything's exactly the same on both sides now. So happy with that. However, when I did my rudimentary toe check, the easiest way I think to do it is to set both track rods to the same. And then you make your adjustments from there so that hopefully at the end you'll end up with equal toe. Because what I'm not measuring at the moment is individual toe, because I'm only really measuring across the axle. So you know what the overall toe is, whether it's in, out, neutral, but you don't know what's going on each wheel. So my little check is to go all the way back here and just look down the side of the car. So if I line my body up with the wing mirror and just see what the wheel's doing, same on this side, I could see one side was toeing in, one side was toeing out. Although the total toe was 0, obviously it was shifted across the axle. So what I've done, using that rudimentary visual check, is actually be able to even them up either side. So now I've got roughly the same amount of toe on this side as that side. Because I've got limited adjustment on this side, it's roughly 1 mil across the axle in. So that's okay, I'm happy with that. I'd rather it be out, but that's the way it is. The steering wheel should also be straight. I've measured lock to lock, both sides are exactly the same. So front should be done. I've moved on now to check the back. So I thought that I was going to have quite a bit of toe on the back. Just because of the way it drives, it gains speed very, very quickly, quite scarily. But I'm actually only toeing in about 1.5 to 2 mil across this rear axle, which is fine. I would like it to be less, I would like it to be 0, because when the car squats, it does gain toe and camber quite considerably. But at this is so extra. But at this late stage in the day, I think I could get myself into more of a mess than solving anything by trying to change the toe. I know the wheels just about fit with everything set up as they are now. So I'm just going to leave it actually, see how we get on. Worst case scenario, I can put a bit more air in the tyres if I'm struggling. So yeah, next job is to just ever so slightly roll this arch, well both rear arches, because these are the 22 wheels. I've got an ET12 pair which just fit, but I want to make sure they fit nicely. Then get it off the ramp, I think. Oh no, fluids. Check the fluids and then get it off the ramp and test drive it. We are flying towards the end of today's work / pain / annoying things I've got to do. And we have bled the brakes. We've set the alignment. Everything's perfect now. I've slightly changed the ride height because I heated these arches up a little bit, pulled them out. I wasn't quite sure we wouldn't have contact. So I have made an adjustment there. But just back here, I have taken the drain plug out just to make sure we've got enough oil in the back of it, which we do, because you can see just there, it is dripping out. So that means we do have enough in. There's a couple of leaks and stuff under the car. So I wasn't confident that there was enough oil in there. I've got the drain plug here. So if you see just there, the drain plug, which is in my hand. There you go, it goes in there. And I will tighten that up in a moment. So that's one of the potential haven't got enough fluid sort of jobs. The next is the gearbox. Now, I know the gearbox has been leaking out of the, I guess, tail shaft seal. The seal at the back anyway. So I am going to do the same here. There's the drain plug just there. So to make sure that's got some oil in, if it doesn't have enough oil in, I will top it up. The power steering's got oil in, fluid in. The engine's got oil in, check that. I need some water, I've got some water at home, some deionized water. And then it's good to go. Oh, also fix the handbrake. So on these, it is very similar to, kind of want to say BMW or a 911, like a 996, 987 Cayman. In the rear drum, you have a little hole. Somewhere in here, on the bell of it, there's a hole with a little gear that you can turn, and you just basically tighten up the handbrake shoes. The shoes work inside that bell. So Lots of people just tighten up the handbrake cable. It doesn't really do anything. You need to do it at the shoes. So now I've got, it won't lock, but I've tested it with a torque wrench, about 100, 120 foot-pounds on first click. So that should work now. So I think, bar giving it a little test and then realizing it's horrible, this is ready to do the drift day. So I'll get it on the floor and then give it a whiz around the block and see how it goes. So catch you then. So a couple of days before the drift day, and I've been driving around in the JZX actually for a little while, just making sure everything's as I thought it'd be, so make sure it drives in a straight line. Steering wheel is straight, doesn't really pull from side to side. Pretty happy with that alignment actually, to be honest. Everything fits well. The arches aren't scrubbing. This is the most aggressive wheel set I've got, so that clears all round. So I should be able to drive it quite aggressively without any problems. Now, I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4 Titan 7s for rears. So I've got the 2 on the car, which I'm probably going to keep till last, so I can put them back on and drive it on the street. Because there is a Vengerfest event as well on Sunday, so I'd like to take it to that using the CR Kai that are on it. I picked up these rotor torques. Now, obviously, not a huge fan of non-genuine wheels, but they're cheap. I can put these tyres on them, and there's another set of rears to get me out of trouble. So I will have 6 to kill, plus the 2 on the car. That should be enough to get us through the drift day. So I'm going to go ahead and get those mounted now. I've got to do a little bit of a repair on the trailer, so I'll get that sorted. Swap these the rotors onto the car, so I can just roll straight off the trailer and start drifting. What else have we got to do? Pack tools, jack, tyre inflator, tyre gauge, stuff like that. Maybe, well, I'll use the race ramps so I can roll the car back onto the race ramps, get the jack underneath it. That's about it really, I think. I sold these to a friend of mine. James is going to collect them at the event, so got to remember to pack those. If I don't pack those, that is a disaster. So yeah, last bit of prep now, really. And then all there is to do it, which I'm reasonably nervous about, because the car looks good now. I'd like it to stay like that. I've got 6 tyres in the back. I've got 40 litres of fuel. I've got the car prepped. I'm about 24 minutes from Santa Pod. Loads of lads there today, so it should be a really good video, and we should have some fun. So I hope you enjoy it.
I mean, he is having a lot of fun in that JZX.
Yeah, definitely.
fucking incredible. Fucking hell.
Oh, yes, bro.
Fucking hell. You could lose some weight doing that, couldn't you?
I'm knackered after each run. That is needs attending to, but
what's that?
that is super pissed off.
I heard the,
That's like ignoring it.
it was like 2 laps in. I was like, I'm sure Ryan can hear that too.
It's hot. I turned the aircon off, but it didn't make it possible. How much fun was that? Yes, brother. Yeah. Same. Nice one, bro. That was good fun.
36 was killing you out there.
I know. It's my first go, bro.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good fun, man.
because I heard a pop and I just thought, because Jake was like, oh, my tyre popped, but it sounded very, very close to me.
No, this doesn't bode well.
No, I've got
boost stage, I believe.
I'll split the boost hose. It's absolutely fine.
What size is it?
I don't know, it's Christian.
Don't ask me why I have this.
That's insane. Alright, I'll whip it off and see. That is quite spectacular. Can you just see it on the corner? Just in there, it's
Oh yeah, yeah, it's blown out the back.
a big hole. Okay, it is now the end of the day at Santa Pod and the car is still in one piece. I am now no longer terrified of drifting. Quite enjoyed it actually. And yeah, I think all in all, pretty successful day. There was a a couple of things that didn't quite go to plan. One was the car was overheating. That's because the clutch fan is worn out. So I need to get a new fan for it. And also, one of the boost pipes has exploded. So that is not ideal. But luckily, one of the lads had a spare, Marcus had a spare, managed to just cobble it onto the car and get out for the last run of the day. So quite a lot of seat time. I did 5 tyres. Sorry, I did 6 tyres. That's how tired I am right now. So the first 2 were these on the outside. So I think bar a bit of delamination, they're actually okay. And then as confidence grew, there was another set in there that actually got disposed of. And then these were the last set of the day. So I started to go quicker and obviously spin them up a bit more. But so that's 2, 4, 6 in a day. Probably could have done 8 if I didn't have the boost pipe issue. So happy I got the spare tyres. I took loads of spare fuel, which I didn't actually need. So I won't do that next time. But yeah, the only bit of damage I've got on the car, there's a tiny bit on one of the arches, which, to be honest, that's not too bad. I still have it, so I can back that from the other side and just strengthen it up. But yeah, the JZX lives. It's not done too badly. A little bit of damage on the back from delamination, but really, all in all, I thought I'd have stoved-in quarters, I thought I'd have smashed wheels, I thought I'd have a lip hanging off of it. It's actually all right. So JZX, good car. There'll be a couple of things that I need to change. Oh, actually, one other thing that went wrong is the lower control arm bolts, the 2 that go up into it that hold the tension rod to it, 21 mils, they came loose. So I'm going to disassemble that, Loctite them, and make sure that that's all not going to happen again. But a good shakedown, so at least I now know what spares I need to take. I'll definitely keep a spare boost pipe and what might go wrong. But yeah, it's a cracking car. I've actually used it to its full potential, so I'm super happy. So thanks for watching. I don't know if you like the drift content or not, but let me know.